Hey, how you doing tonight? What's the night? Tuesday night. What do we do on Tuesday night? It's all about Urban Sentinel Live. Hey, I'm Reggie Kearney. I'm your host tonight. I'm also publisher of the Urban Sentinel magazine. And we just got a treat for you guys tonight, and I know you're going to enjoy it. But before we get started, hey, it's Black History Month, and make sure that you're out there celebrating Black History Month. We have a lot of history, and you know them guys up in D.C. You know they want to try to get rid of our history. We're not going to let them. Okay, so please make sure sit down with your kids, your grandkids, whomever, and discuss Black History Month. But discuss Black History Month 365 days a year. Okay, not just for the month of February. But like I said, we got a good treat here tonight. We got some talented brothers, twin brothers from Atlanta, Georgia. The Green brothers, Saheed and Rashid. And they are movie directors, okay? And when you hear these guys' story, you're going to be like, what? They're doing that type of movie? Yes, they're doing that type of movie, and they're good at what they do. Just to give you another upside to this interview tonight, they are featured in the Urban Sentinel magazine January-February edition. They're on the cover. And so, like I said, we just want to chop it up tonight, talk to them, and just find out what's going on and find out how you may be a director one day. So welcome to the Urban Sentinel live show, the Green Brothers.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, no problem. How you all doing tonight?
Oh, we are feeling good. The season is coming up for films. We're excited about it. We're locked and loaded. Just anxious to see how it goes, and just ready to present this to the people. We think they're gonna love it. So, feeling real good.
Okay, good. Before we get started, I just want to say to you guys, my daughter is pregnant with twins right now. Hey, a couple more weeks probably. We're gonna have two twin boys here. So,
okay,
yeah, looking forward to it. So I'm sitting here talking to some twins tonight. I'm gonna show them this. Hey, I'm gonna show them this video one day. Yeah, I'm gonna show them this video.
Do that.
Like I was telling everyone, you all from Atlanta, Georgia, and you're film directors. And I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Atlanta is becoming a bedroom for entertainment at this time. There are a lot of things going on in Atlanta in the film world, TV world. As you know, Tyler Perry is there. The Green Brothers are there. So tell me, let's start with your journey. How did you all end up becoming film directors? And then we're going to segue into the type of movies you're doing.
Well, we've always been intrigued and in some way involved in entertainment. One of the main reasons we moved to Atlanta was because of the entertainment industry, but mostly the music industry. So that was initially what we went into. So we went into production with that, and we were music producers. We were good, but it's some real producers out there that's really tight, and it took us a while to really even get good at it. But by the time we got good at it, we were a little older, and the music industry had changed so much with the implementing streaming, and Napster came in, so there was a whole shift in how money was even distributed in the music industry. So by this time, my brother and I were really looking at our future, like future lives. So we stepped away from that and we started a business, and the business became successful. And when we got a little bit of buffer, a little room to kind of play around, we wanted to still be in the entertainment. So we started looking at, we had done a video for an artist. An artist had a video, an artist that we had a video. And my brother and I went in there and kind of like started playing around and messing with the video and started editing the video. And people liked our version of the video.
They liked our version of the video. And so that's when we started to get into the editing, and that really and it gave us the ability to tell stories at the same time in film. And so that's kind of like how we segued into and got into really the film production.
Okay. Now, did you all go to school for any formal training to be directors? To do movies, to develop movies and things of that nature, and to develop your directing skills.
No. We were kind of it's kind of natural to us. This film is one of the things that kind of came natural to us as far as understanding like the specs and the cameras and things like that. We kind of did it we we have a big shop, and so we take the camera, and my brother would take the camera, and we would just set up the camera in all these different places and the lighting, and just do trial and error, and we start to get the look that we wanted. And so that's how we learned how to make it look like film. But we didn't go into any school and anything like that besides the YouTube video, videos and instructional videos online. But we kind of did it ourselves and kind of figured it out along with tutorials.
Okay, good. So tell me about the first movie that you ever put together, the first movie that you guys ever directed and made.
The first thing we did was a short film called Traders, Gangsters, and Robots, and it was a science fiction. It was a short.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually available. If you Google, it's actually available to download as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a short that we did. And when you ask about how did we learn, that's a 35-minute short, but it actually was supposed to be like 10 minutes, but we kept extending it. And that was really our schooling. We was expecting it to take maybe a couple of weeks to do. It almost ended up taking us 2 years from start to finish, but that was our schooling.
That was our school.
That was our schooling.
Mm-hmm.
But when we took that one, we actually took that over to France, to Cannes at MIPCOM, and we even purchased the booth over there at MIPCOM. And just the reactions that we got from that was just crazy. I mean, we had people that were really in high positions that were really into what we were doing. We didn't know who they were. They just had name tags, and the powerful people don't know who they are really.
Right.
So we would see their names and write them down, and we wouldn't find out who they were until later on. And then that's when we realized that people in certain positions were taking what we were doing seriously, but it was just a short. And you can't sell shorts in Hollywood.
It's hard to, at least.
Huh?
I said that at the least it's hard to, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't really do it. And so they were asking us for the script. They asked us if we had scripts, and we would tell them, yeah, we got a script. We didn't have a script though. Right. So, and writing a script is it's not easy to do, not on that level. So, but we knew that we had what it took from that. Mm-hmm. So we screened it out, and we had it in France, and then we brought it back, and we ran it through some festivals, and it was just overwhelming. So we decided that science fiction was going to be really, really expensive to produce, and we didn't have that kind of money. So we pivoted and moved into something else. We moved into a series called The Urbans, which is a sitcom. And we started we did another short with this. We did another short, a comedy short called The Urbans, and it was like 7 minutes long. And then we screened that, and then it was comedy, and we didn't know how people would react to it, but they loved it. And when they loved it, my brother and I, that's when we decided, okay, we can afford to make a series. It's not any special effects or anything. So that's when we started to develop The Urbans, and The Urbans got a lot of recognition. We did one of our clips from The Urbans just got like 25 million views.
Okay. It's at about 30 million views. We have Rodney Perry stars in it.
Okay.
Clifton Powell's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Bernadette Stannis, Donnell Rollins is in an episode. We're able to snatch him. So it has some notable names in it as well. Tyler Craig, the late Tyler Craig.
Okay.
So go check out the Urbans as well. You shouldn't forget it if you know the name of the show. The name of the show is Urban Centennial.
Yeah, I saw that. I've been seeing that on Instagram, the Urbans, I said, okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's keep what you just said in mind. But I want to go back and ask you, why did it take 2 years to do a short film?
Because we were learning.
Oh, okay.
You gotta see. We're not just directors.
Mm-hmm.
We do the writing, we do the sound, we do the set design. I was acting in it. We do the editing, we do the wardrobe, we do everything to it. If we were just directing something, then it would only take a couple days. But we have to finance everything, so it's just learning all of that stuff. When you get in there, you got to learn about aperture, ISO, it's camera settings and bokeh, and it's just editing and sound and continuity. It's 1,000 things to learn. Like when you watch a movie and you look at the end credits and you see all of that stuff, you got to know how to do that if you're going to do it independently. So we had to learn how to do all of that, and becoming good at all of that, it's going to take a while. So
and along with the schedules of the other actors that were in it, coordinate with them. So it wasn't 2 years just straight filming.
Right.
It was now we were editing and polishing for every day. But as far as like the actual filming, that was sporadically. So I would say that wasn't 2 years, but it was about, as far as filming, we were filming every other day. We were also building on the story. We do something, we do 5 minutes, and we say, well, it'd be nice if we added this extra thing here, this extra thing there. So the 5 minutes, it turned into 30 to 35 minutes because we just saw potential in it. We kept adding on to it.
Okay. Now coming back to what we were talking about, reels, the short reels. There are a lot of short reels on Facebook now. And I'm going to have to throw my phone away because I get myself caught up in them, just looking at them, because you look at 2 or 3 minutes and you want to know what's going to happen in the next scene for 2 or 3 minutes, So I'm seeing that portion of filmmaking really growing at this time out of Atlanta, okay? Because you got comedians like Country Wayne and Mike Bless and all those guys. They're putting these reels together. And very interesting, sometimes they don't have a plot line, but if you kind of follow them, you kind of figure out what the plot line is all about, So do you see that as something that's going to continue on in the future? And how do individuals who do short reels make any money off those reels? Is it based on views or that things of that nature?
What they're doing is something different. Those guys, what they're doing is they're just making just little short comedic sketches and things like that to get people to laugh. So that's a whole different avenue. When we talk about filmmakers making a short, what filmmakers are typically doing when they're making a short is they have a film concept in mind. And usually what they do is they make a short so that if they want to get investors or something like that, they would actually, that way they can show investors what that world would look like. So instead of, if let's just say you want to you have a film concept and you have a script and you want to get investors. Well, an easier way to get an investor is to make a very condensed version of what you're doing. And that way investors can kind of see, okay, this is how this will be produced. This is what the feel of the movie would look like. This is what the actors, this is how they would act. It gives you a short, condensed version. That way,
or the director's potential.
Right.
It doesn't have to necessarily be, they make the shorts to show, the director makes the shorts to show his potential as a filmmaker, because he's not, of course, he might not have the funding to do hour and a half, 2 hours, but a short film gives you the opportunity to do a strong 5 minutes. So if you see a strong 5 minutes, then you can assume that this person knows how to make. They know how to make a film quality. They just need money to finance to make it longer.
Right, and it gives you an opportunity to look at the project, and the whole idea of a short is to kind of pull you into their world, so you can get sucked into their world. And if you're an investor, if they suck you into their world, and you can look at it and say, okay, I like the way that this looks. Let's go ahead and put some money into it, and then make this thing a whole film. So what those guys are doing is something very different. They don't intend on going back and making a movie out of what they're doing. They just have like little something to entertain people for a short period of time. And it's not.
I enjoy a lot of
Yeah,
it.
they're good, but they're not set up in a cinematic way.
So, now, you all are considered independent filmmakers, right?
Right.
Okay. So when it comes to financing and things of that nature, you all will have to go out and search around and together investors to invest into your film.
We were able to make we made ours ourselves.
Okay.
We finance our films because we do own a business.
Okay.
Our business has been around, it's been successful, and so we were just using the money from the business to finance that, and it leaves us eating hot dogs and Roman noodles, but fortunately, we do well enough to whereas we can finance all of our projects. So we haven't had to reach out.
Okay, good.
Now, when we move to the next level, though, with the new project that we have, it's a good chance that we're gonna call in some outside finance. It's a good chance. Not saying it's necessarily gonna happen. And it's the scale that we want to go in on the next level is going to be much bigger than what we did with even the urbans or the short. This is something on a totally different level. So we might have to bring in some backing.
Oh, okay.
But the film is done. But the film is pretty much done.
Oh, okay.
When you're trying to market and promote something on a mass scale, it can run in the millions. It can run in the millions. So, that's a little different.
Right. Now, have you all ever reached out to Tyler Perry to assist you guys, or have you all, just worked on it and gained the knowledge that you had to gain to get where you are now?
No, we're not gonna. It's not about if we're gonna reach out to people, it's gonna be about acquiring finances. It won't be about. You don't have to be in the industry to finance. To be involved with our projects. Like we are a record. We are the film company. So
okay,
we don't necessarily need another another entity in our field to do that. We just would more so get involved with helping like fields of like distribution. Or, if we use a marketing company, we would just hire a marketing company or PR.
By all means, call us now. Anybody that even if you're in the industry, anybody that's a heavy hitter. We are looking at some people that have production companies, established names that we would be more than happy to work with, and anybody like even who you mentioned. We would. It just depends on if it fits well.
Right.
So if it fits, now we haven't reached out to any particular camps yet. Now, when we're finished with this new film that we have, Ratchet, which I'm assuming we're going to get into.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna reach out and start to connect and see what's going on with different platforms and different individuals and see how we can work together to get it out.
Now, y'all open to working with other playwrights and writers that might have a script that they have already done, but they need someone to look at it and maybe refine it and develop it into a movie?
Oh yeah, we want to establish ourselves strong first before we start pulling other people in. But we are not looking at this as something. As just as a way for my brother and I to get our stories out there. We want to see stories from other writers, producers, directors, and just we find our way to do it and make it work. then we definitely want to pull in other people and let them and channel their work through us. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay. Now let's talk about the Urbans one more time before we talk about the movie that you're doing now. Have you all ever thought about taking the Urbans and developing it into maybe like a 30-minute show, something that can go on Netflix or something like that?
Well, that's what it is.
Episodes.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is?
It's 6 episodes. We have 6 episodes
Okay.
of that already, and it's streaming on Tubi and it's on Freevee.
Oh, okay.
No,
Man.
What's on Fawsome? It's on Fawsome, and I think
Awesome.
Fawsome, Amazon Prime, Tubi, and it was picked up by another streaming service that we just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can watch all 6 episodes right now. And that actually, the Urbans actually won best, I think, either best series or best comedy series at Peachtree Village International Film Festival, which comes through Atlanta every year, one of the premier Black film festivals. And I don't think I think it was selected to. It was also selected San Diego Black Film Festival.
Okay.
A couple of film festivals. I think San Francisco as well. Black Film Festival Atlanta. So it went through a few film festivals. But yeah, you can. It's 6 episodes.
Oh,
right?
okay. That's cool, man. That's great. That is great. Y'all doing it, man. That's great. I love that. Okay. So look, now let's get into what you're doing now. Now for my audience, these brothers here doing something I ain't know black men were doing, or black film directors were doing. They doing horror flicks, okay? Now you know I love some horror, and we all probably grew up on horror. I mean, I remember, okay, I remember coming as a kid on Saturday morning looking at those old black and white movies that came on that were.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, he's in the character right now. That were old horror flicks and
I'm
everything.
not gonna put it all the way on.
So
yeah.
When your publicist contacted me, when Tia contacted me, and she said, you know, I got these 2 brothers here. They're doing great, and they're doing horror flicks. I said, what horror flicks? I said, I really got to sit down and talk to these brothers. You know, I said, I got to put this on the cover because you don't see a lot. You are the first black film directors and producers that I have met that are doing horror flicks. So tell me, how did Ratchet, and that's the name of the movie, my friends, how did y'all come up with Ratchet?
Well, when we did the Urbans, we had an opportunity to really look at the business and really examine the business and look at different genres and things like that. And one thing about the horror genre is that you don't need a major star to do very well in horror. As a matter of fact, the biggest grossing films up against the budgets are horror films. Paranormal Activity, Get Out, the Blair Witch Project. When you make a horror, you can make a horror. If you're good at making horror,
even Jaws.
Yeah, even Jaws. If you look at Blumhouse has made he's got a library of just horror films that are under $5 million to produce, and they can bring in a lot of money, and that's because the star of the show is the antagonist. It's usually the killer. So Jason has a mask on, you know, like they don't have to be well-known people. So that's one of the things about horror that really brought us to horror. We always loved horror. I love horror. It's not too many genres that I don't really dig, but that was the thing about horror. So we wanted to make something with a different, something very different. You know, there are a few horror films with black leads, but there haven't been any real hip. You know, you got the Candyman,
right?
You know, but there aren't any real there aren't really, I'm not gonna say Candyman's not cool, but I'm just saying not young and in the now.
You're killing ratchet people. I mean, how much more fun can a movie be? You know, to have a film about killing ratchet people. We love this. We love the idea of this because it gave us an opportunity to use suspense, horror and blood, and comedy as well. And the people that have seen Ratchet, including I think some of your staff saw the clip that we had. There's comedy in it as well. So our killer is a lot different because he occupies a space that really hasn't been occupied, and that's a hip setting, hip hop. And like I said, who doesn't want to? Even ratchet people want to see other ratchet people get killed.
Yeah, so we just decided to take a concept and have fun with it. You know, we figured it's gonna be so much. We have so much room and there's so much material out there for us to latch on to. You know, and we just thought that would just be it would satisfy a lot of people's desires. You know, but also not make it serious, but have fun with it at the same time. And that's how we came up with Ratchet, because really what we wanted to do. See, we're independent, so we don't have $10 million to put into marketing and promotion. So you got to come up with concepts that that's one thing you can do is you don't have to have money to come up with a great concept. You just have to use your brain for that one. So you can compete with the majors on that level is by coming up with a concept that sticks out from other projects. So we knew we had to come up with something that was going to grab people's attention. So when we thought of that concept, we said, okay, yeah, we can market this. This is going to be easy to market, and we're going to actually have, if we do a good enough job, we can have people marketing it for us. So you know, when you don't have the money like us, then you have to come up with different marketing schemes and concepts that are going to stick out from the crowd. So that's what made Ratchet. But like my brother said, Ratchet gave us the ability. See, the Urbans was cool, but we didn't. It wasn't us giving everything in our heads. You know, it wasn't a lot of profanity in the Urbans, and we kind of made it like for TV.
Right.
We kind of made it like that, but
Ratchet is not for TV.
Yeah, Ratchet is not for TV. We said we're going to do something. This when we do this, we're going to be able to give. We're not going to hold back on anything. We're going to give everything. It's going to be wild. It's going to be all over the place, but organized. So we had so much fun coming up with the ideas of Ratchet that, I mean, this is going to be a project. It's going to stick in your head. We had a couple of people say that they're traumatized.
Must have been rough.
But in a good way.
Right,
you know, because
Now, how long did it take y'all to write the script for the movie Ratchet?
I really got down in the mud with it, and I think I did a first draft. The first draft didn't take me too long. I think I wrote the first draft in about a month and a half, and then got it to my brother. Saw the things that needed to be the mistakes or whatever we needed to change. Then he came up with a revision, and then we did an outline together. So I think all in all, I think it took us probably about probably about 2.5, maybe 3 months.
Okay, because you got to do the speaking parts. You got to do everything that we see on the screen when we go to the movies to see it, or wherever we see it at. You all got to put all that down on paper.
The whole screenplay. Yeah, the whole screenplay. Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. It's fun at the same time. It's hard, but it's fun writing the script, especially when you have a character like the Ratchet Killer. You can just kind of go crazy with the pen. But yeah, you have to outline the entire thing, the settings, and you also have to keep in mind that you're not working with $100 million. So, but yeah, you have to detail it all. So But all in all, we were able to get it down the way we wanted it in about 2.5 months, 2.5 to 3 months. I think about 2.5 months, and yeah.
And
Yeah, like
then
my
after,
brother.
then after you get the script done, and you all are satisfied with the script, then the filming begins.
Casting.
Yeah, the casting. Actually, we did the casting while we were still. I think we might have been finished with the script when we did the casting. We were doing some polishing with the script, but after the script is done, then you do the casting.
Now, all the cast members from the Atlanta area.
They were all here.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
yeah. I'm not sure where they all from, but I know that they were all
Well,
here.
D and Ron is D and Ron was coming from Savannah
Okay.
to film. Of course, the people they're not all originally from here. Rodney, I think, is from I don't know where.
Chicago? Is he from Chicago?
Our man Rodney Perry.
Ronnie Perry, I'm not sure. I had him in my magazine years ago.
I think
Yeah,
he's
Rodney's one of our guys. I'm kind of upset with myself that I think he's Chicago.
Okay.
And Chrissy's Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Chrissy, Alabama. Now Chrissy Karras
Christina Karras, our lead.
is a phenomenal actress. She was in she was it Law and Order?
Law and Order. She played opposite Don Cheadle in the Miles Davis story.
Okay.
Mad About You. She's done a lot of.
Queen of the South. I think she was in Queen of the South. She was also in what's the one with the zombies in it? The biggest zombie show ever. I forget the name of that.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Okay.
Yeah, so she's phenomenal. I'm actually surprised we got her to play the lead.
Right.
But she's our lead and she's incredible. So yeah,
I put up against the best, and I think people. That's another thing about the film that I think that's going to take people by surprise. We have people like her that come in and deliver a performance that you don't really see in a horror slasher film. So it gives it a different dimension. You don't see people doing serious acting in Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
or Jason. You just
Right.
you don't see it. We were able to balance that, and I think that's another thing that people are going to look at, and it's going to set Ratchet aside.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, did the city of Atlanta give you any finance or anything like that? Were you able to get anything from the city?
we had to pay them.
Had to
Right.
pay-
Yeah, we had to pay the city of Atlanta because we did a lot of stuff on the on one of the streets
Uh-huh.
in downtown Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But our budget wasn't big enough to. I think they started at. I can't remember what they started at, but ours was a small. No, we didn't. We didn't even. I didn't even call them up to ask. I just, we just went along and.
He's trying to hide the budget that we spent for.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Hey, but look, what was the movie name? The Blair
Which project?
Witch Project. That was done here in Maryland, up in the western part of Maryland. And them guys just went out with a camera and just did what they did, and look how it blew up. Okay,
Yeah.
you
Found footage. That's the same thing with Paranormal Activity, I believe. But those
Yeah.
found footage. But you can make some amazing things with if you have the concept and you have filmmakers that know what they're doing. That's just like the Terrifiers just did 90 million at the box office, and and the first one that they filmed, I think it was 35,000, and then the second one was 250,000, and then this third one was like $1 million budget. So you can, if you have the right concept and you have the project is tight and well put together, you can make some amazing things happen, and that's what we're looking forward to with this. We think this is going to do something big.
But you've already started out on the good foot because you got some good quality actors.
Yeah.
That are part of this project, and that goes a long ways too. When people hear the names of certain actors and actresses, they go, "Oh, okay, let's go check this out."
Right.
and everything, so that's a good thing. But like you said, with horror films, you don't need a whole lot of stars. You just need some good actors, And it seems like
Right.
you covered that.
And it's and just for anyone that's a filmmaker that's listening, they do that a lot in horror where you don't have to have a main a very big main star. But really, any film that you come up with, if you have a strong concept that is easy for people to resonate with, then you can do the same thing. You just have to have a concept that everyone can be. You can have a concept that people can attach themselves to. So you don't necessarily need a big star, but you're gonna need a concept that makes people say, "What's that about?" Okay, I want to check that out. And have you heard this movie about this so and so? When you have a concept to where someone can turn to the side and tell the person next to them or at the water cooler when they're talking about it, then you don't need a star. You just need the concept. The concept will take you where you need it to go.
They spoke about Fahrenheit 9/11, even though that's more of a documentary. The star of the show was the Fahrenheit 9/11, what was going on during 9/11. They didn't necessarily need. So if you have the correct concept, then the concept is the star.
Now, another question Mark is asking, he said, Mark want to know, what has surprised you the most about the film industry?
How they kept it regulated. I'm happy that the film industry didn't take the same route as the music industry. The music industry really took a big hit, and the artists are not, once they went to streaming and Napster, now people want music for free, and film has been able to keep that regulated. You still make your money off of the film industry, if done right. You have AVOD, TVOD, and AVOD is ad video on demand, and TVOD is transactional. So big films, when they make their movies and it's time after it does its theatrical release, they don't go to AVOD, they don't go to ad, they don't go to straight to a Tubi. They will try to milk all of the money they can out of the transactional video. So that's the thing about that. But there's been a lot of changes. I think when people make movies now, they still think about the 90s, and that's a big mistake. I feel bad when I see people make movies and I'm looking at the concepts of the movies, and you can kind of look at it and tell that they're going to have a hard time marketing it, especially from an independent standpoint. So if you make a relationship movie, and it's harder to make a movie like that blow up. In the 90s, it would have been easy to do that because so few films were being made, and you didn't have streaming, and you didn't have millions of movies out there. But now, if you make a movie, if you don't have a good concept to it, it's going to be drowned out. And when you think about the streaming industry right now, when it comes to streaming movies, what people don't understand when independents are making a movie, and they plan on putting it on something like Tubi or Freevee, they don't understand that movies, a lot of these big companies are starting to put their libraries on those platforms. So you can have a Warner Brothers that's dumping all of their old movies from 70, 80 years ago, and you're putting all of that stuff on these streaming platforms. And so if you're an independent, you're gonna, unless you have something that separates you from the rest of the pack, your stuff is gonna be really at the bottom. So it's harder to make money off of those streaming platforms, the AVODs, even as it was easier to make money off of those like 3 or 4 years ago. And now, which is like, it's so inundated with material that it's hard to make money. So you gotta really know what you're doing with your marketing and make a product that's separate from from everything else that's out there.
Let me give you more. Let me give you more. Did you want to? You when you said surprised, because your question was anything surprised you?
Mm-hmm.
That was your question, right?
Yeah.
One thing that is a little surprising is everybody that's on television is not paid. So I think that's probably one of the surprising things. When I was younger and I'd see somebody in a movie, I thought that person is set, they're rich, no matter who they were. If you were in Ghostbusters, I don't care if you pick, I don't care what you if you had a line in there that you said, you're paid, you're set for life. Of course, that's not reality. So that's one of the things that's surprising when you get in, you see that everything isn't, it's not glamour. It's not
Okay.
all glamour like you think. So that's one of the things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now, so how will you all? What are your plans on marketing your movie and bringing it out to the public nationwide?
Well, what we're gonna do, what we're doing now, this is festival season. We were debating whether or not we were gonna go through the film festival circuit, but we decided that's the best move. So we're gonna spend this year all the way up until probably about August or September, or really October, running it through the festivals, and that's going to help a lot with the marketing. That's going to build up the anticipation for it throughout the year. Probably we're debating whether or not we're going to do as a crowd fund to get more exposure. But luckily, with a film like Ratchet, uh, it's not going to require as much. I mean, we're going to market as hard as we can, but Ratchet is one of those things that when someone finds out that there's a movie out there about killing Ratchet people, they go and tell the person next to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so there's some key outlets that we're going to advertise on. That the demographic is strong with our community, in the millions. One of them has one of the sites is I think 8 million. Another one is 28 million. And so we kind of understand from marketing, doing some marketing with the urbans, which ones can get into the community and spread. We've went viral with the urbans on several different platforms. So we're going to get the word out through some of those, and also, like I said, with the film festivals, and hopefully it should be out in theaters late this year.
Okay.
Hopefully by October.
Yeah, we're not in a huge rush this year. We're just setting up our pieces. Basically, what my brother's talking about, when we do the film festival circuit, we can go in there and we can just start talking to people, talking to financiers, talk to distributors, and really put our tentacles out there to see what people, how they're responding to it. We're not going to have a problem getting distribution at all. It's going to be about what distributor and how serious they are. Do they have international connections? Dealing with international sales agents, and from there we can kind of look at what's going on and put together a business plan. And like my brother said, do a theatrical release. We don't know if we'll do a start off small with theatrical to if we don't have the distributors responding the way we think they should, then we'll put them in theaters ourselves and show them like, okay, this is what this is. Y'all, you want to end now? So you can take on it. It's a lot of different avenues that you can take, but we have to kind of see what the people, how they're responding to it. And we have a couple of different avenues. We can put it out in theaters ourselves, start off small, and then spread it across. Or after we do a couple of film festivals, distributors come in and say, hey, I want to take this up immediately. Give us all of the US rights or whatever, and let's do a wide theatrical release. We gotta kind of see what they're saying first.
Right. Now, were you all doing the soft launches like in my area, like in Washington, D.C., New York, Baltimore, places like that, just to get it out to the general public?
Well, when we do soft launches there, I don't know about there specifically, There are probably some festivals that's going to be close by there that we'll probably be attending and showing the film. I'm pretty sure it's some real nice festivals that are in that area that's coming up. So I'm pretty sure we'll be, if not directly there, we're going to be fairly close by. So
Right.
you'll be able to see it then. As far as when we actually launch, don't know the exact locations. Of course, Atlanta is going to be the premier place because we have our hands just all around in here. But we'll have to see which spots are going to get the soft launches. It might not even be a soft launch. It might do so well throughout the festivals that we're able to go there and hit and do a bigger launch.
But it's a lot of black folks up here in DC. Okay.
Yeah. That's what we hitting. Hitting
We're in place already, and I can see the DMV and Baltimore, especially Baltimore. I can see you doing very well. Can see you doing very well.
Yeah, it's gonna do popular. We think it's gonna do very well with the urban community. It's not just a slasher film.
Right.
There's an actual story there that you can follow, and it's suspenseful as well. Anybody that's seen the Urbans can see that we spend a lot of time, or we take pride in it actually being a story. You're looking forward to something. There's a build up, and at the end we try to reward you. So it's not just a slasher film where a bunch of teenagers are going around having sex in the rooms, and the guy comes in and killing. It's not like that. It's there's actually start to get to understand the lead character, Chrissy Karras. That's why we needed someone that could actually act. Not just do a horror film or get killed, but someone that can actually act and put the story out there, convey the story in a way that's going to be respected by people that appreciate good acting. So yeah, it's a different approach, and we're on top of it.
Okay, good. Okay, $1 million question. You all are twin brothers. How do you all get along in the working world, in the working environment, in your business? How do you all get along with each other?
I guess the better question is asked, why don't other brothers and sisters? I don't. I guess we just been cool with each other.
Right.
We've always been we've had to share since before we even knew who each other were. We shared the smallest apartment imaginable. We didn't have any room to. That was inside of our mother. So we've always been sharing. So that's kind of like all we knew. Fortunately, we like each other.
That's good. Yeah. That is so good. But I tell you, like I said, I'm just amazed. Black folks making a horror flick.
Yeah, they got a couple of them out there. They got a couple, but it's not a lot. I can only think of. Yeah, it's not many.
No.
No. We hope that everyone is looking forward to it. Like, I've never paid attention to that, like it not being a lot of black horror films out there. But no, there aren't. So so we tackled it, and we're excited about it. We look to do more of them. We want Ratchet to be a franchise, and we think that it has the potential to be one of the biggest ever.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We think that our killer, he's iconic. We think that he's going to turn into an iconic killer because of the elements of the urban community or urban presence, and his hip hop aura. It has hip hop in it, and you don't really see that in you don't actually see that in any horror films. This is probably going to be the first African American horror or killer that you can actually consider to be hip hop. And you don't really see that. You don't see that anywhere. It's almost always hard rock. If there's going to be, so very few people have been able to incorporate hip hop and rap and into their horror films. And so this is going to be a different thing. When hip hop started off, it was small, it became big, but fortunately for us, no one's really put it into horror, and so we plan on being one of the first.
Okay. Now, who did your score for you? How did you come up with the score for the movie?
Joel Steven.
Okay.
He's actually one of the actors in it. He's the white guy. When you see the film, he's watching a cam girl, a black cam girl, which is a great scene. He's watching a black cam girl, and he's going off, talking in I'm not gonna say a racist rant, but he says some things that's probably gonna offend a couple of people, which is perfect for us. But him and I forgot his partner's name. I'm gonna have to get the name of it. I apologize about that. But he took it, and we went together, and he did scene by scene, and he put together the whole score. And not only just that, he did the actual mix on it as well with the sound. And so we have a real heavy professional sound. He's an engineer, so we're talking about the surround sound, and so we can come in this direction and that direction. So it's really professional. It's really well done.
He started off as our colorist, really.
Yeah,
we've been knowing Joel for like 8 years. He's the first person. I think he started off when we first did the Campbell Traders, Gangsters, and Robots. I think he was around during that time, and he did a lot of the color grading for the Urbans.
Okay.
So
we did all of the color grading for the Urbans.
Yeah, so we always stayed in contact, but he's a musician, and we wanted, when it came to the music and the sound of it, we wanted the sound to be big.
Right.
So when he came in, he was like, okay, what's this mean? What's I wanted to sound like this behind me and everything. And so him being a musical engineer and playing live instruments. And then, he's a white guy. We wanted kind of like that little drop of flavor in there,
Right.
So not something that you go in and then you download something online and just stick it in your movie. We were fortunate enough to get someone who made the music from scratch and custom made the music for each scene. So that was, I can't tell you what that did. That that's what the big boys do. And
right.
he had to do, when it comes to that sound, if we would have slipped on that, then it would have been noticeable. But we were really fortunate. We were fortunate in a lot of aspects of having Christina Karras and having a great sound engineer. Just feels like we lucked up.
Okay, good. Do you all spend time mentoring young people or students that are in school that are interested in film?
We haven't had time to do anything, but that's something that I want to do.
Right.
When we start to get it, when we start to move, and the time is freed up a little bit more, because we also still run our business, so which is 6 days a week. And we will film the entire movie at the same time that we were actually running our business. But yeah, if we can teach the younger people, even people like whoever, something to get them ahead and help them get along, or help them skip over some of the things that's going to be painful, then yeah, we definitely look forward to mentoring some people in the future.
That's good. So as we begin to wind down, what would be a piece of advice you would give someone who's interested in getting into the film industry as a filmmaker or director, producer, whatever?
Don't cut corners. Instead of making a hour long film, that's not going to be aesthetically pleasing because you don't have the type of budget that you want, it's better to make something that's about 5 minutes and give it your everything, and then have a script or something like that on the side ready to present. When people see your product, it's much better to approach someone with 5 minutes of really strong material than an hour and a half of something that they're not going to be able to digest. Pay attention to everything. My brother and I pay attention to everything, even the fabric of your clothing. There's certain types of clothing that's just going to photograph better, that's going to film better, that's going to look better. Pay attention to your lighting. Pay attention. Act like no one else is going to come in and give you anything to help you along. Make it look at a project that's already out there, that's already established, and try to do whatever you can to make it look as close to that as possible. And you can control a lot of that stuff yourself. A lot of that stuff doesn't require a boatload of money. A lot of it has to do with lighting and how good the actor is and the set. You know, pull stuff away from the wall so you can get some depth behind you. I didn't do that here, so don't do it. But pull it away from the wall so you can get some bokeh and some of the lights back there. Film at night. It's certain things that reflect a lot of light, reflecting off of water. Just pay attention to your craft and read up on it. Pay attention.
I would say that most people skip on the most important thing, and that's the script. Most people don't realize that their script is not up to par. Most people write scripts. They write scripts, and the script is not a story. It's actually just a situation. Really good scripts should be multi-layered. Your actors should be multi-dimensional. So I would advise, what my brother and I did at the beginning is we use script consultants.
Okay.
We wrote our script, and we wrote scripts, and then we would send them in to people that read scripts all day. And you can pay them to give feedback, and they will tell you where you're going wrong. And that's gonna save you so much time. So even if you feel as though you're good at what you do, they don't pay people $2, $3, $4, $5 million for scripts unless it's difficult to do. So you have to take it very seriously. In the storyline, there are tricks to writing stories to keep people engaged in it. And if you are just new at writing, you're probably not going to know what that is. And people feel like because it's their story and it's interesting to them, that everyone else is going to find it interesting. And that's just not the case. Pay someone a little bit of money to read your script and tell you where you're slacking.
Okay, good. Now, I know you guys are busy, but if people want to get in contact with you, how can they get in contact with you?
Green Company Pictures is the Instagram. So the handle is at Green Company Pictures. Green with no E at the end. No E after green. So Green Company Pictures, like the color. And DM. That's one of the best ways.
I think Ratchet Movie Official might be.
I was going to say Ratchet Movie Official, but probably the best way is going to be at Green Company Pictures. That's the best way. We answer those. Okay.
Well, Saheed and Rashid, I have really enjoyed talking to you all tonight. You've given me some insight on movie making. I'm not going to go out and do that. I'm going to stick with what I know how to do. Podcasting and writing, doing magazines. I'm going to stay in my lane and let you all handle that.
Hey, really appreciate. Hey, and we didn't say thank you, really, for putting us on the cover of the magazine. We really appreciate that. We're proud of it. I want to get some of the copies, some of those, and I'm just gonna wave them everywhere when we start doing interviews, whatever. We want to put it out there. We really appreciate it.
I will make sure I get you all some copies and everything, so you can wave them. That'll help. Hey, look. Hey, that's my marketing too. That'll help me out too, So that's a good investment.
We want to buy them.
We want to buy them.
Okay. Just let me know. Just let me know how many you want. I'll get them for you. Just let me know how many you want. I'll get them for you. So look, people, we have been talking to the next Oscar winners here, Saeed Green and Rasheen Green. They are identical twins, brothers who have a movie that will be out hopefully later on this year called Ratchet. Also, look up the television show comedy Urbans.
The Urbans.
The Urbans. Look that up. Let's support our brothers. Okay, you know I'm a big supporter of our community. Okay, so let's support these brothers any way we can. Do y'all have any merchandise out or anything now? Or
we're gonna have some in a minute. Now go watch the trailer, Ratchet. Just Ratchet trailer.
Okay.
You can watch it there, or you can go to ratchetmovie.com, and we also have the trailer on there. And follow us at Green Company Pictures for any kind of updates or whatever.
All right. So, my brothers, I have really enjoyed talking to you tonight. We will be talking more. Look forward to you. And wish you continued success. And we'll be talking soon. Okay?
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Everyone, have a good week this week. Go to issue.com, issuu.com. Get the free copy of the Urban Sentinel magazine. On the cover, you're going to see these two brothers here. We got an article on them, and we're going to support them on down the road. And it's all about us supporting each other, okay? So please support these brothers, okay? And you're going to be glad that you did. So until next week, this is Reggie Kearney, Urban Sentinel magazine publisher, wishing you a safe week. Take care. Be safe out there. And let's, keep your heads up. And look, we only got 4 years, okay? We'll get through it, okay? So take care. Have a good evening. Talk to you later. See you next Tuesday night. Take care, my brothers.
Thanks a lot, man.